This does not belong in your wardrobe. And neither does this. I have way too many of these, and I bet that you do too. All of us have things in our wardrobe that we don't need, want, or even like. And yet a lot of us are also guilty of letting this stuff hang around in our closets for way too long. And that's how we end up standing in front of an overstuffed wardrobe, feeling like we simultaneously have too many clothes but nothing to wear. And trust me, I've been there too. And in fact, the last time I went through and decluttered my entire wardrobe was around 2.5 years ago. So in today's video, we're going to do a full closet declutter, and I'm sharing 9 types of clothes you can declutter immediately to instantly feel lighter and better when you think about and look at your wardrobe. Hi there, friend, and welcome to my channel. My name is Marissa, and this is A to Zen Life, where I share all of the best tips and ideas to help you simplify your way to a home and a life you love. So if that sounds like your jam, please be sure and give this video a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And let's dive into the first type of clothing you can declutter right now, which is anything you have to adjust constantly. You know that dress that rides up around your hips every time you walk? Or that off-the-shoulder top that you have to be constantly tugging on and putting back into place anytime you move your arms? Girl, it's time to get rid of those. Especially now that I'm over 40, I find that I have very little patience for clothes that make me feel self-conscious, or that I have to constantly worry that I'm going to have a wardrobe malfunction when I'm wearing them. Like this top that I got many, many years ago, but they didn't have it in my size, and so I got it in several sizes larger. This is an XL, and I'm probably generally about a medium. But because it's so much larger, the armpits gape down and show my bra. And then I feel like I have to be constantly tugging and adjusting on it whenever I would wear this out in public. And your girl ain't got time for that anymore. In my opinion, clothes that you have to be monitoring or fussing with all day don't deserve a spot in your closet. So give yourself the gift of peace of mind, and let's make space in your wardrobe for clothes that let you move freely and you feel good wearing. Next up, the second type of clothing are the ones that don't fit your current body or lifestyle. There's a quote that I love from a Chinese philosopher called Lao Tzu, and it goes, "If you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present." And every time I talk about decluttering clothes that don't fit, I always think about this quote, because how many of us have wasted seconds upon minutes, upon hours of our lives, either wishing that we could fit into old clothes or worrying that we might regret getting rid of something in the future, even when it hasn't fit our body or our lifestyle for years. If that sounds like you, here's a gentle reminder that the clothes in your closet should fit the you that you are today, right now, not just in size, but in lifestyle as well. If something is too tight, too loose, or just doesn't match up with how you actually live your life, then it might be time for you to let it go. Whether that's old workwear from a job that you left years ago, or those skinny jeans that you were hoping to fit back into someday. Give yourself permission to move forward with clothes that fit the body and the lifestyle you have right now in this very moment. The third item on this list is shoes that hurt your feet. So the other day, I happened upon this old French illustration that dates all the way back to 1883. And in this drawing, there was a male hairdresser on stilts styling the hair of a woman who was clearly in pain. And the caption beneath translates to, "One must suffer to be beautiful." And when you really stop and think about it, it's crazy how common of an idea this is, which is the idea that we should just accept that sometimes we need to suffer in the name of beauty. And this idea goes way back. For example, did you know that in the original Brothers Grimm version of Cinderella, the ugly stepsisters actually cut off their toes and parts of their heels to be able to fit their feet into the glass slippers so that they could trick the prince into marrying them? All I have to say is, girls, that man ain't worth it. Nowadays, my philosophy is that life is way too short for painful shoes, So if your shoes give you blisters, pinch your toes, or make you wobble like a baby deer every time you try to walk in them, it's time to let them go and keep the pairs that make you feel good and supported when you wear them. That brings us to number 4, which is unfinished fixer-uppers and mending projects. As someone who loves saving money and cares about sustainability, I try to make my clothes last as long as possible, which means knowing the right way to launder my clothing items and knowing how to make small mends here and there. However, I'm also human, and there are times when I mess up too. Case in point, this sweater. So this was actually my husband's sweater that I borrowed once to wear in one of my older videos, and I spent years, literally years, trying to convince my husband to give me this sweater. And then almost immediately after he finally caved in and gave me this sweater, I forgot that I was washing it, and I put it in the dryer on normal heat, which of course caused it to shrink since it's made out of merino wool. And then since then, I've been hiding this sad little sweater in the back of my closet, thinking that someday I might try to unshrink it, which supposedly is a thing that you can do according to Google. But it's been over a year now, and this sweater is still small and still in my closet and still making me feel sad and guilty every time I look at it. So today, I'm going to finally let this sweater go. And I encourage you to take a look around your closet and see if you have any unfinished DIYs or mending projects that you've never gotten around to taking care of, and get honest with yourself. Either you're going to get it fixed or mended or tailored this week, or you're going to do yourself a favor and let it go. As for me, I'm going to donate this tiny sweater, and I figure they'll probably put it in the little kids section. And maybe someone much smaller than me can get some use out of it. I mean, it's even too small for my kids. The next category I want to declutter with you is fantasy self-clothing. And just in case you're not familiar with the concept of fantasy self-clutter, I will be sure to link a video up here for you in the right-hand corner, as well as down in the description box below, that dives into this topic in more detail. But basically, fantasy self-clothes are clothes that we buy for the person that we wish we were, rather than for the person that we actually are. And some past examples of things I bought that were fantasy self items for me include fancy workout clothes when I'm more of a t-shirt and yoga pants girly. And that time I bought a bunch of clothes because I wanted to look chic and put together on a trip to Paris that I took with my husband, only to end up regretting all of those purchases because they were in fabrics and silhouettes that I didn't enjoy wearing. Actually, I kind of take that back because looking back through these pictures made me remember this navy blue pleather moto jacket that I had. And honestly, I feel like this was such an iconic look, and I loved that thing so much. I wore it until it literally fell apart into pieces. And that thing traveled all around the world with me, not just Paris, but also to Japan and Germany, and it lasted a really long time. So I guess I had one winning piece out of a dozen or so, which 10 out of 10 would buy that thing again if I could find one like that. And even after 10 years of minimalism, I still fall into the fantasy self trap sometimes. In fact, around 3 years ago, I wanted to experiment with sustainable fashion while adding some key pieces that I was missing into my wardrobe. And I'd seen a lot of creators in the minimalism and simple living niche who were rocking these gorgeous linen outfits. And so I did a ton of research and absolutely agonized over what clothing items to buy and what colors I was going to order them in. And I ended up ordering about 7 items in total. And of those 7 items that I ordered, I love and wear 4 of them on a regular basis, including a white and beige striped linen maxi dress, a sage green pair of pants with an elasticized waist, a pair of olive green wide leg pants with a paper bag waist, and a Japanese style apron in the same olive green as those pants. But then 3 out of the 7 items that I ordered were a little bit hit or miss for me. While I loved the color and the fit of this dress on the model when I was looking to purchase it, for some reason I just never choose to wear this dress when I have other choices. And the same thing goes for this pink skirt, which even though I chose this specific color to replace a pair of shorts that got worn out, Somehow the combination of the pink and the length and the ruffles, I guess, just ended up being too girly for my taste. While it's always fun to dream, trying to force a style that you don't feel comfortable in isn't really worth the time or the cost. And holding on to fantasy self items can make you feel guilty and create clutter instead of joy. By letting go of fantasy self items, we're saying yes to our true selves and making space for a wardrobe that truly fits our real lives and is comfortable, practical, and authentic to who we are today. And what makes getting rid of these clothes even easier is reminding myself that even though they weren't the right fit for me, there's someone out there who would absolutely love to wear these clothes. Next up, we have high maintenance fabrics. And for this category, I have another one of those linen pieces that I ordered 3 years ago. And this linen jacket was actually ordered as a matching set along with the sage green pants. But while I love and I wear the pants all the time, I rarely ever wear this jacket. And my issue with this jacket is that this collar always gets rolled or flipped, and you have to iron it to get it to stay flat. And I hate ironing. In fact, I don't even own an iron. So for me, this jacket is more trouble than it's worth. I like the idea of the jacket more than the actual jacket, if that makes sense. But like I said with the previous items, I'm sure that there's someone out there who owns an iron and would love wearing this item. So I'm planning to do a challenge to sell these items on a site like eBay or Poshmark. So stay tuned for an update on that. And if you have something in your closet that needs to be washed in a certain way or constantly ironed so that it looks good, and you find yourself avoiding those items just because you don't want to deal with them, ask yourself, is it worth it? High maintenance clothes can suck up a lot of your time and energy, so if you dread the upkeep, it's okay to declutter them. The seventh type of clothing on this list is special occasion clothing. Special occasion clothing can take up valuable space in our closets, even though we rarely wear such items. If you're holding on to a dress from a wedding years ago, or maybe a holiday sweater you no longer love, it might be time to let that go. One decluttering hack that I like to use when I'm feeling stuck in situations like this is to imagine a future event and then ask myself if I would actually choose to wear this item to that event, or if I would rather wear or even buy something else. And so something that I've noticed recently is that when it's actually time to celebrate Christmas, I'm always choosing to wear something else instead of the pizza Christmas tree sweatshirt that I used to love. So this year I've decided to let go of my Christmas tree pizza sweatshirt. And if I find myself feeling sad about letting go, I just remind myself that just because I love something in the past, that doesn't mean I need to keep it forever. And I say a little thank you to that item and give it a bit of gratitude for all of the fond memories that I have of it before sending it on its way. Next up, number 8 on this list is unwanted clothing gifts. When I was a little girl, my great grandmother was still alive and she loved to sew, and she would always sew me and my little sister our outfits for Easter and Christmas and all sorts of holidays like that. But the problem with those outfits, although they were beautiful on the outside, was I always found them incredibly uncomfortable to wear because she never put lining in any of them. And so the seams would be rubbing against me. There would be threads everywhere. Sometimes the fabrics had sequins or other texture that made it really itchy. But I was always made to feel really guilty and like an ungrateful child for not wanting to wear these clothing items that my great grandmother had taken time to make for me. And I think that a lot of people can probably relate to this and getting unwanted clothing items as gifts, for whether it's for birthdays or holidays, gifts that were bought for them or gifts that were made for them, but then maybe it's not the right color or it's not the right size or it doesn't really fit your personality, but you feel so guilty for not liking that item. But what we have to accept is that holding on to clothes that were gifted to us but that we don't love or wear only adds unnecessary clutter to our lives. And letting go of them doesn't mean that we're ungrateful. It just means we're making space for items that truly fit our style, lifestyle, and needs. And in many cases, when we choose to get rid of items, whether that's by selling them or giving them away or donating them, what we do is we pass them on to someone who will actually enjoy them. And that honors both the giver's kindness and our own commitment to creating a simple and more intentional wardrobe for ourselves. And finally, number 9 on this list is clothes that you haven't worn for a year or more. Unless it's a sentimental piece or something that you only need occasionally, like to wear to a wedding or a funeral, not wearing something for an entire year is a pretty good clue that it's not an essential or something that adds value to your wardrobe. And I find that having rules like this not only helps make decluttering easier, but a lot of times it also helps me make better choices when I need to buy new clothes in the future. Because it helps me to zero in on certain items and really kind of dig in to ask myself, what is it about this item that is causing me to not like it or to want to wear it? And that way I can avoid those kinds of items going forward in the future. And if you want to find out more about that or get more decluttering tips and ideas, be sure and go check out one of these videos that YouTube thinks that you'll like, or I'll see you next week. Until then, take care. Bye bye.